Just as I was about to sit down to do this show, I got a note in coming from Edison saying, virtual reality, virtual standstill. Richard Windsor writing that VR seems only to be popular at trade shows, removals of 200 of the 500 of Oculus Rift demonstration stations seems to be what's catalysing his concern. Is he right?
Well, I heard about those Rift removals at Best Buys. Not sure it's true. I mean, we saw pretty healthy sales of a very early technology toward the end of last year, something like 5 million Gear VRs, the Samsung mobile unit, as well as close to 1 million PlayStation VRs and hundreds of thousands of these desktop systems, which are expensive and a little bit new on the market. So I'm not sure I would agree with that assessment. I think we're in a pretty good spot here where we're seeing the early adoption, and we're going to see growth in the next couple of years for sure.
And so I'm going to bring the more optimistic note that came out from UBS analysts saying that, look, we are actually at a tipping point. By 2020, we could see an 8-fold growth in the revenues coming from gaming, from the software when it comes to virtual reality. They see $3.3 billion. What is it that's going to galvanise people to start spending for the more expensive PC RAN units and that sort of thing?
Well, you know, this is a lot of what we do in the tech world. We navel gaze, we look at things, and we, try to predict what's going to be big sellers. And I'm no better at that than anybody else, even though I've been in this realm for a long time. But what I found is I just came from the Sundance Film Festival. And they have a program called New Frontier, which is all about the cutting edge of technology and how storytelling is done in new media. And for the last few years, there's been virtual reality storytelling going on at Sundance. And me, being somewhat jaded, as you can imagine, in this world, has seen a lot of VR, pretty much everything that's come out on all these platforms the last few years. And I was blown away by the innovation I was seeing in terms of now taking the medium forward into a place where stories are being told, where interaction is super compelling, and where you're actually engaged with this content in a way that I could personally imagine people coming back to these experiences and, in fact, buying those experiences. So I think we're moving past this phase of experimentation that we saw a lot for the last few years to really now defining this medium in a way where we're using all the capabilities of it. We're not just, say, if you've seen any 360 video, slapping a camera on a table in the middle of a conversation like this, letting people look around and say, gee whiz. We're actually using making directorial choices and using the technology in a native way to now explore the medium for real and tell stories. And Unity was used to build a lot of those things.
I mean, hats off to you. More than half, right,
right,
of all the VR and AR that was at the Sundance Festival was built by Unity. Give me, therefore, the outside the gaming box, because we hear Mark Zuckerberg talking very passionately about virtual reality, the movement outside into more the real world, not just gaming. When does that happen?
We're seeing that start now. I mean, it's moved beyond gaming already. We see Unity being used in a lot of different areas, everything from designing and selling cars to education and training to architectural walkthroughs. And I think on the gaming side, we're even seeing that move into entertainment, like the storytelling we're talking about now, like coming out of Sundance. So we've already moved beyond gaming, and it's a full 3D platform now. So tools like Unity are being used to develop all of these things, not just environments where you go in and kill somebody or try to win or do a treasure hunt, but complete stories, new worlds that you can inhabit, or places that you could go that you couldn't otherwise go, where you transcend geography. So we've already seen VR move beyond gaming, though gaming was a great first initial use case that people know how to develop for it. And there's a pent-up market for that. And we're seeing sales be pretty healthy on these game systems, the PC-based systems. And so good driver of it, but we've already sort of moved beyond that in the last year or so.